Hello, hello. Today I want to talk about Facebook ads, what is working, what isn't working, what changes are coming up. So if you've been running Facebook ads, you'll notice a few changes. And even if you aren't running Facebook ads yet, you can get a feel for some of the audience things. We're going to be talking a lot about the audience. That's where a lot of the changes are happening. So starting at the end of last quarter of the year, Facebook started sending out notices so that if you were targeting people who followed other authors, for example, you would be getting notices that those authors, a lot of them would not be able to be targeted in the future. And those changes have rolled out. So if you, for example, set up Facebook ads at the beginning of last year and haven't done anything with it since, and you go back in and you try to do the exact same thing, there are fewer authors to target right now. And some of the authors that did work for you in the past might not be able to be retargeted, but there are still lots of ways to find other audiences and things like that. One really cool thing about Facebook is that you can make a lookalike audience where basically you give Facebook some metrics. So maybe you say people who follow my Facebook page. That's one of the easiest to set up. And then you tell Facebook, find people exactly like people who follow my Facebook page. That's a lookalike audience. They tend to be really cheap. I was just in my dashboard right now, and I can target my lookalike audience for about half the cost of some of the other audiences I target. You can also create a lookalike audience based off of your newsletter subscribers. That's another really good option. Or people who have visited your website lately. You do need to have your pixel set up for that. I'm getting a tad into the technical stuff, so if I'm saying things that are confusing, just know Facebook has a thing called lookalike audiences where you can target people who are like other people that you've targeted. It's a really nice way to get a real cheap audience, and it's one of the strategies, since you have fewer authors to target right now, it's a strategy that will help you keep on getting cheap clicks. Another strategy that I'm using right now to get back to like 12 and 13-cent clicks, which is great on Facebook, is having very, very specific audiences. So how you could set it up is, let's say you write romance. You could say, target people who read romance novels and own a Kindle, for example, just those two things. But there's a way that you can have different segments. So you can tell Facebook something like, target people who like romance novels, and they also must own a Kindle, and they also must like these movies, and they also must like these other authors. There still are some authors that you can target. So having more than just one interest category can really, really help. So for example, I have a Christian suspense book that I'm advertising, and I probably have like 6 different intersections. The people that Facebook finds for me have to read Christian nonfiction. So these are like Christian authors, or there's a lot of targets like people who read Bible devotions, things like that. So that's how I know, they want Christian material. And then I say they also have to like mysteries, thrillers. I put in several secular fiction authors, the big names that are up there. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but kind of the John Grishams or things like that. So they have to like one of those authors. They also have to read ebooks. And since I'm wide, I don't just include Kindle, but I do, Kobo, Nook, those kinds of things. And then I have another category where they also have to be kind of avid readers. So in addition to reading ebooks and following at least one of these authors, I will put things like they have to like Goodreads or BookBub or library. So I know they're avid readers. And then I have another section where it might be things like they have to also watch mystery movies or detective TV shows. So that way I know, A, they're super readers because I've got multiple categories targeting readers, and they are looking for Christian material, and they're super fans of the genre because not only do they follow, one or two of the big names in the thriller world, but they also, in addition to that, like murder mysteries on TV or things like that. I'm finding a lot of good success having it that specific, and it's a little fun to set up. So again, if you've noticed this change with your audience and you're feeling a little frustrated, because before it was kind of simple to just go in there and find like 12 authors in your genre. Boom, there's your audience, start your ad. It's a little harder now, but this workaround can be kind of fun and get some fresh eyes on your ads. There's also going to be some changes coming up with campaign budget optimization. Facebook has been talking about this for a little bit now. Basically, my understanding is all that really changes is whether you set your budget at the campaign or ad set level. Not a big deal right now. I haven't done any changes. I'll let you guys know when it's time to make any changes or if that impacts things. So I just wanted to give you a feel for kind of what's working right now with Facebook ads, especially if you fall into this camp of people who used to just target specific authors and now find that some of those authors aren't showing up as options for targeting. And since I know not everybody's running Facebook ads right at the moment, I also want to just give some good takeaways for everybody in terms of marketing. So basically what we're doing when we're making these kind of hyper-focused Facebook ads is we're making sure we're targeting the right people. And that's really important, even if you're not running Facebook ads. So it's kind of the difference between buying a billboard on the side of a highway that says, here's a great mystery novel, and finding people who read mystery novels and love mystery TV shows and things like that. So again, the more you can kind of hyper focus on who your audience is, even if we're not talking about like creating an actual audience with a Facebook ad, but even when you're talking to your newsletter list or things like that, if you keep in mind that you are kind of razor focused to really avid readers who love your genre, then that kind of flavors how you talk to them, how you go about seeking them. As an example, I don't do too many promotions with groups like Fussy Librarian's the first one that comes to mind. I do use them sometimes, but basically for any of those types of things, if they don't have a list that's very specific to my subgenre, I don't think it's worth it. So it's an example of, do you want your book to go out to a newsletter of 50,000 people who like fiction, right? I mean, that's a lot of people. Or do you want your book to go out to a newsletter with 10,000 people who love your genre? I would pick the people who love your genre. It really helps you stay razor focused. So a takeaway, even if you're not running Facebook ads, is don't spend a ton of marketing energy on trying to reach everybody who's a reader, and focus really on finding the readers in your target. This also can apply to Amazon ads, where some people will come up with, hundreds of thousands of keywords. I like to stay a lot more focused in that and find the people that I know are the very closest match to my genre. So good luck to you guys with running all of your ads and all of your marketing, as well as with all your creative endeavors right now. I do have a step-by-step course on Facebook ads. You can visit courses.alanaterry.com/Facebook to check that out. Wherever you are, I hope that it has been an amazing writing week for you, and we will talk to you soon.